Today's an interesting episode, y'all. As y'all seen on the thumbnail, we gonna talk real, man. We gonna talk real, and we gonna dive into a real artist, writer, a guy that businessman been doing this for so long. We gonna dive in, man. We gonna dive in. Without further introduction, my guy, Mr. Grammy Award winning singer, songwriter, Mr. Trevon Waters, y'all. Hey, Von, what's the deal, man?
What's up, my boy?
What's the deal, man?
Man, just staying busy, staying out the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting to the bag, bro.
Man, you know I appreciate the time, bro.
Of course, man.
You know I appreciate the time. Man. No, man, I think this is a much needed episode for my people. I want people to understand, like, things are possible, man. Mm-hmm. It's possible to follow your dreams. It's possible to get out here and search for something and go hard and accomplish that goal. Mm-hmm. Whether even if it seems like it's unattainable. Yeah. You know, and you living proof of that, man.
Oh man, thank you.
Man, so salute to you, man. I know it's been a journey, man.
It has. It's been a crazy journey. I'm just really tipping the iceberg. I feel like, you know what I mean? I think I've been doing this for a while, but I feel like I've only begun to scratch the surface of what I actually set out to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
Man, congrats. Like I said, congrats on the Grammys. For those of you who don't know, you won a Grammy for
so 1111, which is Chris Brown's last album, won Best R&B album at this past year's Grammys. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was a part of a Grammy Award winning R&B album.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said so nonchalant. I was a part of a Grammy Award, you know. I was a part of a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Nah, bro. I mean, it's humbling, honestly. Like, it just made me want to go harder, honestly.
For sure.
Yeah, but
for sure,
we'll get there.
And I know that, you know, there's so many people that's trying to win Grammys, trying to get in the music industry, which is why I think this interview is much needed. But I wanna dive deep, man. I wanna dive deep, and just dive into your life, man. Your mind.
For sure, bro. Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So can you take us back? Can you take us back to the early days, man? I wanna go back to the early days. Where did you fall in love with music? Where did that whole thing begin for you?
When did I fall in love? I'm gonna say probably church. I mean, I've been singing probably since I was 2, but for the most part, like my whole childhood was like in church. So I think once my mom knew that I could sing and I started to take it serious, she put me in choir, and that was kind of where, like, I guess my foundation came from. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, on choir, you're singing every Sunday in front of people. So I think that kind of just helped me get rid of, you know, any shyness or singing in front of crowds and doing solos, and really just my first introduction to music, period. Because, you know, gospel music is a whole thing. So yeah, that was kind of like how I started off. And I think, you know, my mom kind of saw I was taking that a little more serious. I was going to church, and I started getting solos, and I would sing the solos, and she would just watch the way my voice would move people. And yeah, I think she kind of gave me the confidence and instilled in me early that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
For sure. And where did you grow up?
I'm originally from Lancaster, Virginia. Okay. Born and raised, which is, it's so funny because the closest thing that I could say that it's close to is Tappahannock, which is where Chris Brown is from.
Gotcha.
So I always use that as like a point of reference. But yeah, that's where I grew up. Country, woods, trees, everybody know everybody. You know what I mean? So
you seem like a city boy, man.
Really?
Yeah, you seem like a city boy.
Nah, man, I'm a country boy at heart. I did spend some time in the city though. My mom moved from the country to the city in like the Newport News, Hampton Roads area. So I lived out there for a little while, and I ended up graduating back at my hometown and then moved again to the city and did college for a little while. So I was back and forth for a while. But yeah, that was my old stomping ground. Shout out to VA, two up, two down.
Man, shout out VA, man. So around the house, especially in Virginia, I'm sure around the house it was what type of music was going on? Like was your mom and your
Mm.
dad listening to different how was it? Like what was the dynamic?
Yeah, she was. My mom was straight like 90s. Or I was born in 96, so she had me raised on Mary J. Blige, R. Kelly, H Town, Shanti, uh, Drew Hill,
Mm.
Jagged Edge.
Oh, I
I
see,
mean,
okay.
all of that. Yeah.
I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was pretty much raised on that. And then as I got a little bit older, I started getting into like my own, my own inspirations, which was like a lot of Chris, Trey Songz, Neo, um, basically like all the R&B stars at the time, late 90s, early 2000s. I was just, inspired by all of that.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I can definitely dig that, bro. I can definitely dig that. So, but when did you realize? When did you realize that songwriting and singing was like a career? Like you could make it, you could make it a real career. When did you realize that?
Mm. I'm gonna say maybe like, so I feel like those two different answers, right? I feel like as an artist, I started thinking about, you know, picturing myself, doing this for a living. I'd say like at like 16, because I started working on like my own music at that time. Songwriting, that was something that developed later. That definitely wasn't something I saw myself doing growing up. It came a little later, after pretty much my late teens, I want to say 18,
Mm.
19. So about 15, 16, I started realizing, music was what I was going to do for a living, because it was the only thing that I was genuinely passionate about doing. And then around like 18, 19 is when I started to get into writing for other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
So when was like your first break, like into the music industry?
Mm,
Like when you was like, man, this is like I'm here. You know what I mean? Like I'm officially in the music industry. What did that look like? When was that?
it's crazy because the inner me still feels like I haven't had a big break yet. But when I talk to other people, you know, perspective is crazy. I don't know. I guess if I had to give something, maybe when I started my group, because we got signed to a label, and
I
that whole
remember that.
lifestyle was very, very fast. I guess that could be like my introduction. I joined a boy band when I was 19. Another thing that I didn't necessarily plan on doing or see myself doing, it was just kind of like an opportunity thing that just fell in my lap. But I want to say maybe around that time, I was 19, and I guess just because we were exposed to so much very young, and in hindsight, I think that kind of just gave me um, an idea of what was to come. Being signed to a label, doing shows every week, touring, being in like a professional group and operating at a professional level. I think that was kind of when I started to realize, okay, this is getting a little bit serious. You know what I mean? Because the group, it took a little bit for us to get put together, but after we were together from that time, which was around like 2015, 2016, there was just a few months where we moved out to LA and just began a whole new life. So, yeah.
I feel that, man. I
Yeah,
feel
man.
that. So, they say the music industry can be crazy, man. But how did you like being so young? How did you navigate through the music industry, like as an emerging artist? Like, what was your things that you is there certain things that you did to like navigate and just stay on path? Because so many people get in the industry and then they kind of lose it.
Yeah.
What was your thing that made you like just stay on track?
Yeah.
Because it can be crazy, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories, just from mentors, uh, just a bunch of people. And I think one thing I know I'm very good at is learning from other people's mistakes. So when I would hear the do's and don'ts, I would kind of just take it and, learn, so I don't have to learn things the hard way. You know what I mean? So really just listening to a lot of my OGs and people that have been successful that I'm, was able to be in rooms with and be around. I would just, have open ears and just, be open to whatever it is, whatever advice they had to give. And I think that has brought me a long way.
For sure. I mean, speaking of advice, what's one piece of advice that you got early on that you still hold to this day that helps you?
Hmm. It is gonna sound kind of cheesy, but really, honestly, truly, if you believe in something, stick by that. In this business, there's gonna be a lot of people that will take your art and try to make it fit. What do I mean by that? Like, especially in the music business, you oftentimes may partner with people, and they might have you might have creative differences. And I feel like the best piece of advice I've gotten was just to always, be open, but at the same time, follow your gut, trust your instinct, and do what feels authentic to you. So I feel like that's uh, good advice, just because, like, trusting yourself gets you so far. And I feel like just in today, right? Like, you don't know what's gonna blow up, what's gonna be a hit, da da da. And I've just heard so many stories from people that have talked about, I played my song for a label or something, and nobody cared. Crickets didn't do anything. And then next thing you know, the song blew up. And had they not trusted in themselves and believe in their sound, then they wouldn't have gotten where they were.
Speaking of Chris Brown, right? How did you even get the opportunity to work with Chris Brown? How did that come about? Was it just he heard about you, or was it are you connected with somebody? Like how does anybody, how did you do it? But how does anybody get in those rooms?
Um, I mean, well, me personally, I still haven't even been in the actual studio with CB, but I think I just made good enough songs that were able to get to his ear. And yeah, I know a couple people on his team, um, and I was able to just kind of get songs to them, and they were able to, press play for him, and yeah, the rest is history.
No, for sure, for sure. So what was the creative process like of like, did you know, like when you made when you were making these songs, did you know it's like, man, this making an album for sure. There's no way.
Nah, I did.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me back then, would this song be on Chris, I would have looked at you like you was crazy. Because, fun fact, I wrote My Slime in 2021.
Mm.
It's 2025 right now. So that just goes to show you, like, how long things can take to come out. But I wrote that song 2021, fresh out of my group. Not really thinking too much of anything, like, who can I get this song to? I wasn't even in that space. I was just writing the song because I was just in the mood. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, for sure. So what do you think? What did you think Chris Brown, like wholeheartedly, right? Because I know artists are particular where you like, man, I did it like this, or I did this song like this. So the records you did, what do you think it was that Chris Brown brought to the record? Because again, like I know a lot of artists, and it's like, yo, like, damn, like I wish he would have did. This is my piece of art. But what do you think he brought to the records that made him so hot?
Oh man, I mean, he's a hit maker. I grew up listening to him, so to see, like, an idea that I started and to just hear, like, the finished product, um, he really is a hit maker, and he really understands the art behind making a song pop. You know what I mean? I learned that just from listening to a lot of his early stuff, and I try to, incorporate that into, my ideas today. But anytime I hear something, an idea, um, anytime I listen to an idea and then I listen to his version, I'm like, oh, okay, like, this guy gets it. Like, he understands. And when I heard his version, I was just kind of like stuck for a little minute, like, oh wow, like this is what a hit is supposed to feel like, it's supposed to sound like. So yeah, I just think he brings just this indescribable energy that not every artist could do on a record, and in shorter words, he just makes a song pop. That's the best way I can describe it.
No, that's dope. That's Chris Breezy, man.
Shout out to CB.
Shout out CB, man. Shout out CB. So I know you wrote the record a while ago, right? But when you were writing that record, and I kind of asked this in a sense, but when you were writing that record, did you feel something that was like, that was different from other records where you like, yo, like, what I'm saying? I think this is
The one.
yeah. Was it something like? Did you feel something?
Yeah.
Because this being your first, Grammy, what I'm saying? It's like, did you feel something inside, or you was just kind of like, man, like when I put out all the music, I know.
Yeah.
I feel the same.
When I did the song, I knew the song was special. But again, like if you would have told me back then that the song was gonna like go to Chris, or even let alone like be a part of a Grammy Award winning project, like I would have looked at you like it was crazy. The song did feel good the moment I did it though. I knew that the song was special because I know when I like something, I like to ride around in my car, smoke, and just vibe out. I was playing that song every day. Like when I get in the car, I like to do. I call it like a bounce test, right? If I do an idea, I go to my car and I listen to it there and I ride to it. And if it feels good, then that's how I know it's gonna be a good song. So that idea in particular, I was riding around listening to it out in Atlanta for a while, and yeah, I knew it was gonna be special from that moment.
No, that's all. So look, walk us through the moment when you first found out y'all was nominated. Like, what did that feel like? Are you like jumping up and down, you popping champagne? Are you like, cause you a humble dude, man? Like, so it's like, are you just like, yo, this really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the feeling?
You mean the nomination or like the actual like win?
When you found out you were nominated, not that y'all won yet.
Yeah, nomination. Well, I was nominated on his last project, Breezy, as well, because that got Grammy nominated. I think by the second time, I was just like, oh, okay. Because, the Grammys, they can be a little political. So sometimes I try not to, like, focus on it or dwell in it too much. So I remember just, thanking God and just asking him to, if it's meant, God willing, then so be it. And I just kind of, like, trust in that. And I really, like, think about it too much.
No, I feel that. When you was like, yo, we won? Now, what was that feeling like?
You want to know what's crazy? It was fairly recent, actually, when we found out. Because, Grammys was, like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I was in the studio in Atlanta with my bro upstairs. Shout out to my boy upstairs. He also was wrote a record on the album as well. And we're signed to the same publisher as well. So we was in the studio working, and we get a text from our publisher, and she's like, congrats, Grammy winners, ... And we're just looking at each other like, what? Like, you serious? And she was actually at the actual Grammy Awards, so she got to see like in real time when they called the winner. So we found out through a text message, and then I went on social media and I saw everybody congratulating him, and I was like, okay, this is official. And I just remember feeling honored, man, and just grateful to be a part of something that can be recognized on, like a global level. Man, it's real humbling.
No, that's dope. That's dope, man. I need me a Grammy, man. I need me one, man. That's why I say I gotta learn how to sing, man. I need me one, man.
Never too late. Get Grammys for a bunch of things.
No, for sure. So, what does this win mean to you or for you? What does it mean for you personally in your career? Right? Personally, just within your spirit, but professionally, what does it mean as well?
Professionally, I think, and again, like I know I said this already, but like I try not to focus too much on like the accolades and everything, because I truly believe like accolades don't define how great you are and how great, like your art is. But obviously winning does feel good. And I think, it just put a battery in my back. I feel like it just honestly made me want to go harder. I saw that it was, possible, and now I want to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I definitely feel that for sure.
Yes, sir.
Sure. So, how has your life changed after winning a Grammy? You got people running up to you.
Oh, you crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Is it like, but all jokes aside, how has your life changed? Is it, after winning the Grammy, is it like, hey, don't even bring it to me if if it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, I don't think so. I feel like things did change in some sense, but not nothing too drastic. Like I'm still, I still want to operate and move as if I haven't won or done anything. You know what I mean? Because yeah, like I don't know. I try not to let that be like the focal point of like my success. Like I don't want to think about winning or any of that. I just kind of want to like keep my head down and just focus on the work and just let that kind of speak for itself. Um, but yeah, nah, I don't feel any different. Honestly, I'm just kind of the same.
no, man, you ain't the same, bro. You ain't the same.
I mean, like,
man, you find out, man, I only eat that Noble, man. I only eat that Noble. I'm only eating that Noble, Adrian.
Crazy, man. Um, I yeah, nah. I feel like I'll know when things are like getting real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ain't there to see it.
No, for sure, for sure. But I mean, it's well deserved, man. It's well deserved, bro.
Thank
So
you.
again, I got to give it up to you again, bro. Give it up to you again, man. One time for my dog, man. For sure,
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Appreciate you.
So I mean, a Grammy is an award that I think every artist dreams of winning, right? Every artist, every songwriter, every producer. What's what's some advice that you have um for a person that's just he's trying to win his first Grammy? What's like your best piece of advice?
Mm. I mean, look, if you're serious about doing this and you're passionate about it, you know, you may hear 1,000 no's before that one yes. Um, you have to kind of keep that tunnel vision, even when you may get that no, or you know you may not reach that goal that you wanted. I feel like as long as you're passionate and you're hardworking, you can achieve anything. And like I said, it only really takes one yes to change your complete situation. Um, and then to piggyback off the last question, like I don't feel like my life has changed much since the Grammy win, but I do feel like I've gotten a lot more opportunities simply because of I was a part of a project that won a Grammy. Now people want you in rooms because you worked on that project. And they're like, dang, well, if he worked on that, and that one, this, then maybe I can get him in the room and we can create the same feeling. You know what I mean? So
Let's stop going up.
yeah, like
Stop.
it's not, yeah, just in a sense, you know what I mean? Hopefully, in net worth, but just from like a uh a clout sense, for lack of a better term, like posting and letting people know that you're a part of something makes other people want you to be a part of their shit. So yeah.
No, I feel that, man.
Yeah.
No, that's a good answer for sure. For sure.
So keep going. That's what I would say to whoever's watching. Just keep going.
I hope y'all hear this too, man. Keep going.
Keep going.
Don't never give up on your dream. That's what it's about. Man.
Never get up. Fun fact, I think all of the Grammy winners were like, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, like 30 and above. You know what I mean? So that just put things in perspective for me too, because I know a lot of times growing up you hear like, oh, you only got a certain window to do this, or you know what I mean, you don't want to be doing this at, I don't know, like growing up, I just always remember feeling like, all right, I had a certain window to do this, or I was gonna miss my opportunity. You know what I mean? And nowadays, I do feel like artist development is kind of coming back, and people actually want talent and seasoned acts. So, going off of all the Grammy winners this past year and even the year before, it seemed like, you know, most of them were indeed developed and seasoned and had a bit of a journey to get from, where they started to where they are now. So yeah, greatness takes time. So
Sure.
just keep going.
For sure. So I talk about this a lot, man. When it pertains just to business in general. But from your perspective, how important is networking and building relationships in the industry?
Oh man, super important. Super duper 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 important. That's like half the battle. I'm not even gonna lie. Like making relationships, maintaining relationships, massaging relationships, starting new relationships, knowing when there's a bad relationship. I feel like all of that matters. I feel like relationships is what got me some of my first placements, just from having great relationships with producers that may have relationships with artists. If you may not know someone directly, but a producer is working with the artist, or an executive at a label, or even a manager that works with an artist. You just never know. An engineer that works with an artist, like you just never know who can get what idea to who. So I kind of just play off fields, and anytime I recognize you know a relationship that needs to be made, I just try to utilize it, and also just be accessible as well, because being accessible, uh having for someone to be able to call you up and ask you to do something, and for you to be able to deliver and do it in a timely manner, people will start to feel like, oh, I can call on him again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, being accessible, uh, and maintaining relationships gets you super duper far in this business. As well as, I know you mentioned something about networking as well. Social media. We're in 2025, and social media can change your life, clearly. So that plays a part in it as well. Um, I don't do it as much as I used to, but starting off in my group, we post it every single week. Every single week, we're doing a video, we're posting on our YouTube, all our socials, and we're promoting it, and just growing our fan base, connecting with our fan base, and yeah, all that is essential to you know, winning.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I want to get a little technical, right? What are some mistakes aspiring songwriters and artists should avoid? What's some things that it's like, man, don't be the guy that does this.
Hmm.
Because you in them rooms, and I'm sure like you've probably made small mistakes that you may not have known. You just like, yo, I'm young, hungry, wide eyed. What's some things that's like, yo, like when you get in the room, don't do that. Like, don't be super. How some people meet a celebrity and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
what's
yeah. Okay. I mean, like maybe even to piggyback off that, right? Like I've been in rooms and I've learned better. I know better, but I've learned from other people and from watching other people. Like if you're invited into a room and you're just supposed to be there, just to be there, don't like speak out of turn and give suggestions when you're not spoken to, especially in like a studio session or somewhere that is very creative. You don't want to be that guy that like throws the vibe off and makes the room uncomfortable because you want to get an idea out when that's not why you're there. If you're there to just kind of be a fly on the wall, then just be a fly on the wall. You know what I mean? If you're there to assist and engineer, then engineer. You know what I mean? So I would say just, yeah, don't like overdo it in the rooms. What do I mean by that? Like just respecting people's space and people's energies, and yeah, don't overdo it in the room. I'd say that's pretty big, because you could miss out on opportunities just from that too.
don't be too thirsty. Don't be
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Trying to take a million pictures.
You feel me? None of that, man. Because you might even miss your opportunity. You might miss your whole opportunity, and someone might be, weirded out by it, and they might not want to work with you or take a picture with you. So, yeah.
No, I feel that for sure. For sure. So how can an artist best position themselves to collaborate with major artists like a Chris Brown?
Mm. I feel like it's different for everyone. I think with me, again, like just being accessible, making yourself accessible, knowing when to take advantage of opportunities. I'm not necessarily like a party person or like an outside person, but sometimes artists may be, and that may be your only window to like, hey, he's gonna be at this event. Let me, try to make myself available and be in the room and get myself acquainted with this person. So yeah, I'd say that pretty much.
No, for sure. No, I definitely feel that. That makes a lot of sense, man. You gotta put yourself out there.
Gotta put yourself out there, man.
You can't be the guy that's too cool, man. They gonna find me.
You feel me?
That's something I'll be talking to barbers about. Like, man, like don't be too cool, bro. Get out there and network and
Get
let
out
people
there.
know you got that work.
Get there and let people know.
So beyond talent, what do you think is the best, or what do you think is key to long-term success in the music industry besides talent?
Mhm. Man, again, I still feel like I'm just kind of getting started. Maybe in 10 years, I might have a better answer. But I'm just gonna say like consistency. That's one thing I know. Like being consistent is something that will get you further than even talent sometimes. And discipline, you know what I mean? Consistency and discipline that will get you further than you know you've ever imagined. Um, I think I've been songwriting professionally probably for about 5 or 6 years now.
Hmm.
And I feel like each year I just get better and better because I choose to surround myself with people that do it at my level or even better. Um, and when I watch them, they're super consistent. Like they can go in a room, make a song in 5, 10 minutes, and go to another session and do the same thing. And over time, songs accumulate, and you start having songs that come out. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, I did that. Like so, consistency and discipline, I would say, will get you pretty far.
No, that's good. That's good. So now that you won your first Grammy, what's next for you, bro? What's next? You know what I mean? What's next?
Shit, hopefully winning some more. Nah, just man, more opportunities. I'm also working on my own artist project as well. So hopefully I can get around to dropping some of my own original stuff. More placements, songwriting stuff. I've gotten to work with a lot of my favorite artists this past year alone, and hopefully I get to this year as well. So a lot of placements, hopefully some features, a little bit more on the business tip too. Like I got a really really great team that I trust now, and they take the time to help me get my personal business together. So definitely just tapped in a little more to the business side and just understanding how things work a little more. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, hopefully just more accolades, more awards. I mean, I would like to hopefully uh win a Grammy for like a best song, best R&B song. Um Songwriter of the Year, they have that award now. It's a pretty new award at the Grammys. And my publisher actually got nominated the first year
Mm.
that they came up with the nomination. Shout out to Nija Charles. And yeah, like it'd be dope to get in that category. I want to be on the radio. Uh, I feel like that's every artist, writer, or producer's dream is to hear something that they worked on just randomly while they're out driving in a car somewhere. So hopefully getting on the radio, I want a real hit, like an authentic hit, like a top 10 rhythmic radio kind of hit. You know what I mean? Now that is a game changer. Just getting on the radio. I feel like that might could even be like a whole nother segment for you, because I feel like, especially back then in like the early 2000s, like when we were doing like physical copies, if you could get on the radio and like sell, you could pretty much make a living off of like doing album cuts and stuff like that. Like, from what I've heard and people that I've talked to, like especially producers, they would just talk about how much money they made off of that, and it was crazy. So yeah, getting on the radio, that's definitely something I plan on doing this year. And yeah, just everything I'm doing now, but just on like a bigger scale. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that, man. I feel that. So, everybody has these dream collaborations, right? But I'm gonna twist it a little bit. I'm gonna say,
Okay.
if you had 3 dream collabs, dead or alive, it could be anybody. 3 dream collabs. What would your 3 dream collabs be?
3 dream collabs. Is this as an artist, or is this writing for someone, or it doesn't matter?
Let's go both.
Both? Oh man. That's crazy. Dream collaborators. Okay. I'm gonna say Pharrell, just because I grew up on, Pharrell as well. He's also from Virginia. And his sound just is still used today. I feel like his sound really isn't going anywhere. And I just always imagine like what would it be like to create with him. I feel like he's very eclectic, and I don't know. I just got a feeling us in the room together would be crazy. So Pharrell. Who else? 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 I'm gonna say Drake. And the reason why I say Drake is because I feel like Drake's a hit maker.
For sure.
And I feel like
you gotta go with Jersey
you
Drake.
feel me? Like, beef aside, like I feel like bro is just like a natural hit maker. And I would just love to like be in a room with him and watch his process. You know what I'm saying? Just how he creates stuff, how he comes up with like his punchlines and everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
People love to say Drake don't write, but
nah, Drake is a writer.
Writer for writer, right?
Drake is definitely a writer. He's written stuff even for other people. And I feel like, he don't get enough credit for that. But Drake is also a superstar. And I feel like a lot of superstars know when a hit is a hit, regardless of if they wrote it or not. So I feel like he just is able to understand that and identify that and use that shit to his advantage. I feel like that's what a smart artist should do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Pharrell, Drake. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? Dead or alive? Okay, I'm gonna say someone that isn't with us anymore, just because you said dead or alive. Quincy Jones, for sure. Just because the work speaks for itself.
Exactly.
So yeah, them 3. And if I had to give like an alternative, probably Timbaland or something. Because I haven't worked with Timbaland yet either. He's somebody I always want to work with.
Okay.
Timbaland or Missy Elliott.
I ain't heard no Michael Jackson, man. Come on, man.
I love Mike, man, but I'm like, what would I do for him?
Michael Jackson. It's gonna be something.
I'm sure it'll be fire, but
Mike Jack, if you're watching, come back for the board. Mike Jack, come back for the board.
Rest in peace to a legend, man. To a legend.
R.I.P. Mike Jack, man. Go. So lastly, man, and this is personal, but I do want to see where you at with this. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave on the music industry?
Wow. This is a great question. I feel like I need to think about that more. What type of legacy do I want to leave? Man, first of all, I try not to be selfish with my gift. I feel like my gift is a gift from God. And if there is any way that I could make someone feel how I felt when I first heard, my favorite song, then I feel like I'm like doing my job. That's what I try my best to do. Like, I know you remember where you were and what you was doing when you heard your favorite song. Like, I try to create that feeling in everything that I do. And if I could create that same feeling for someone else, then that means I'm doing my job. So really, I guess the legacy I want to leave is just like using my gift to just like touch people and make them happy and move them and help them get through whatever it is that they're going through. Whether that be my voice, whether that be a song that I write for somebody. Yeah, I feel like then I'm fulfilling in my purpose. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, that's even why I feel like, I started, working with your daughter, because you told me that she has potential, and if there's anything that I could do to kind of enhance her potential and help her be that much better at what she wants to do, then I feel like I've done my job. So really, just to kind of help people, any type of way that I could serve and help someone, and I feel like I'm doing my part. I don't know if that answers the question. I hope it did.
No, definitely, man. Man, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate the music, man. As as you said, like music moves people. It changes lives. I know for me, like I don't know what I would be without music.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, we appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me, and bro, keep doing what you're doing, bro. It's inspiring to see and to be able to go back and listen and just watch all of this, and hopefully this shit will inspire someone.
For sure, man. And we appreciate you, man, for sure. For sure, man.
Anytime.
It's Trevon Waters, y'all.
Hey, man, make sure y'all follow me at all my socials. Instagram, Trayvon's Music. Twitter, Von Dutchy. YouTube and everything, all that coming soon. That's all gonna be Trayvon's Music. And just be on the lookout for so much, bro. So much new music, a lot of songwriting placements, and more Grammys.
There you have it. We got a new record coming out. Me and him got a new record coming out. And me and him got a new record coming out. I'm telling you, we're gonna drop a new song tomorrow.
This guy.
Tomorrow. So y'all look for it.
And be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. He got his own solo too.
Man, no, that was dope, man. Appreciate you, bro.